Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a bombshell move that's making waves across the U.S. agricultural and manufacturing sectors. John Deere, a company deeply rooted in American industry and rural identity, is moving parts of its production out of the United States and into Mexico. That's right, the green and yellow titan of tractors and farm machinery is shifting gears, and the reasons might surprise you. In this video, we'll break down why John Deere made this controversial decision, what it means for American jobs, how it could impact farmers, and what this signals about the future of manufacturing in the U.S. Let us start with the facts. John Deere has begun moving manufacturing operations, including components of its large tractor production, from U.S. plants, particularly in Iowa and Illinois, to facilities in Mexico. This isn't a rumor. It's real, confirmed, and already underway. The company announced that the changes are part of a broader optimization plan meant to cut costs, improve efficiency, and realign global production. According to official statements, Deere claims this move will allow them to meet global demand more flexibly, tapping into faster-growing markets and supply chains. But this announcement struck a nerve, especially because John Deere has always been seen as an all-American brand, dating back to the 1800s. Their headquarters are still in Moline, Illinois, but their manufacturing footprint is going international. Fast.so. Why is John Deere making this move? It comes down to one word: costs. Manufacturing in the U.S. has become increasingly expensive due to rising wages, strict labor regulations, and higher energy costs. Mexico, by contrast, offers significantly lower labor expenses, cheaper energy, and an expanding skilled workforce, especially in industrial hubs like Monterrey, where many automakers and heavy machinery companies already operate. On top of that, under the USMCA trade agreement, the successor to NAFTA, John Deere can export goods from Mexico to the U.S. with minimal tariffs. That means they keep their costs down while still serving their largest customer base, American farmers. Mexico has essentially become the manufacturing sweet spot for companies trying to survive today's razor-thin profit margins, and John Deere is no exception. Here's where the story gets even more serious. For workers in John Deere's U.S. factories, this shift feels like a betrayal. Generations of families have worked on Deere's assembly lines, and in cities like Waterloo, Iowa, and East Moline, Illinois, the company isn't just an employer. It's part of the community's identity. The move to Mexico threatens hundreds, potentially thousands, of jobs. For many workers, it's not just about the paycheck. It's about pride, purpose, and a deep connection to the land and machinery that built America's farms. This also plays into the broader trend of deindustrialization. In the U.S., where once thriving factory towns are struggling to adapt to globalization and automation, union leaders and local politicians are already raising alarm bells, arguing that this decision prioritizes profits over people and risks accelerating economic decline in the Midwest. Farmers, John Deere's core customer base, are watching this move with mixed emotions. On one hand, if moving production to Mexico brings down costs, that could mean more affordable equipment in the long run. And let's be real, farming is a tough business, and every dollar counts. But on the other hand, many farmers take pride in buying American-made machinery. They trust the durability, the craftsmanship, and the legacy that comes with a tractor built in the USA. Some are now asking, will the quality drop? Will parts and service get harder to access? These are valid concerns, especially as repair issues and parts shortages continue to frustrate rural communities. And let's not forget, John Deere has already been in the hot seat over its restrictive repair policies, which have sparked a nationwide right to repair movement. Now, with production moving abroad, will trust begin to erode even more? John Deere's relocation is not an isolated incident. It's part of a much larger trend. American manufacturing is undergoing a major transformation, shaped by globalization, automation, and geopolitical pressure. Companies are chasing lower costs and quicker logistics, even if it means leaving behind their home turf. And while some firms are bringing production back to the U.S. due to political pressure or reshoring incentives, others, like John Deere, are doubling down on outsourcing. This could signal a turning point for the U.S. industrial economy. If even legacy brands like John Deere can't afford to keep building in America, who can? And what does that mean for the future of American industry, especially in rural areas that depend on these jobs? The next few years will be a crucial test for John Deere. If the company can maintain product quality, deliver on customer service, and keep its American identity intact, the move to Mexico might just be a smart strategic pivot. But if they start cutting corners, losing trust, or alienating their workers and customers, this could backfire big time. Public perception matters, especially in a brand so intertwined with the heartland. Will John Deere remain the symbol of American agriculture? Or is it becoming just another multinational chasing profits at any cost? Only time will tell. So, what do you think? Was John Deere right to move production to Mexico? Is this just smart business or a betrayal of American workers and values? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss our deep dives into the biggest stories shaking the auto and industrial world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Another factor influencing John Deere's move is the rise of automation. In fact, John Deere has been at the forefront of robotics in agriculture, from autonomous tractors to AI-powered machinery. The irony? Even as it moves production to a lower-cost country, the company is also reducing its reliance on human labor. That means fewer workers in both the US and Mexico over time. Automation is reshaping manufacturing across the board. It's not just about where things are made. It's also about how they're made. If John Deere continues to automate assembly lines, many jobs, even in Mexico, could disappear, raising deeper questions about the long-term future of manufacturing employment anywhere. John Deere's move is also driven by intensifying global competition. Chinese companies like Zoomlion and YTO, as well as Indian manufacturers like Mahindra, are aggressively entering international markets with cheaper tractors and equipment. To compete, John Deere must lower its production costs without sacrificing quality. Moving to Mexico is a strategic move to position itself better globally, not just for U.S. customers, but for growing markets in Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. The message is clear. John Deere is not just an American company anymore. It's becoming a truly global brand. But will that global ambition come at the cost of its American soul? Post-pandemic, companies worldwide are rethinking their supply chains. During COVID-19, supply chain breakdowns brought production to a halt, delayed shipments, and caused part shortages that impacted farmers worldwide. Mexico offers John Deere proximity to the U.S., a more stable logistics corridor, and fewer disruptions compared to trans-Pacific shipping from Asia. By centralizing more of its production closer to North America's agricultural heartland, Deere is hoping to create a more resilient supply chain. This is a move shaped not just by profits, but by lessons learned in a crisis that we also can't ignore the political dimension. American trade policy, tariffs on raw materials like steel and aluminum, and strained labor relations with unions have made domestic manufacturing more expensive and volatile. In contrast, Mexico offers political stability for manufacturing, friendlier labor conditions, and fewer regulatory hurdles. Interestingly, this move happens just as U.S. politicians are trying to bring manufacturing back home. That tension between economic reality and political rhetoric is playing out in real time, and John Deere is stuck in the middle. Will they face backlash from lawmakers, or are they simply playing smart within a broken system? This move may also trigger a brand identity crisis. John Deere isn't just a company, it's a cultural symbol. It appears in country songs, rural pride parades, and sits at the center of farming communities. By shifting production abroad, Deere risks breaking that emotional connection. Will Made in Mexico labels sit well with loyal American farmers? Or will it feel like a betrayal? Some experts believe this could open the door for Made in America alternatives to rise and take market share by leaning into patriotic branding. The question now is, can John Deere preserve its iconic status while behaving like a global conglomerate? From Wall Street's perspective, this move is seen as a win. Investors tend to reward efficiency, cost-cutting, and global expansion. Deere stock responded positively to the restructuring news. Analysts praised the company for adapting to global trends and staying competitive. But there's a dark side here. When corporate decisions are made based solely on shareholder value, workers and communities often lose out. The conflict between Main Street and Wall Street has never been clearer, and this move is a textbook example of how those interests can diverge.